Look what started the work right after class. So we're making the video now. All right. So chapter 3, section 6, we're talking about compound inequalities. Okay. So what we had before were just inequalities. So we might have had something like x plus 2 is greater than 10, right? And so in this particular problem, all we'd have to do is subtract 2 from both sides. And we were left with x is greater than 8. And then we'd want to graph that. So we'd have our number line. And we'd have our 0. We need to show 8. And now we have to graph it. So x is greater than. So it's an open circle at 8. And it's greater than, so it's going to highlight to our right. So open circle, highlight to the right. All right, and there we go. So that's what we did before. That was just an inequality. Now we're talking about compound inequalities, and they include the words and or. And it's important to recognize that because that means we have more than one graph. We have our and graphs, which are typically, like if we look down here, so inequalities containing the word and. Both inequalities are true at the same time when they highlight in between. So that's super, like right here, it says thumbs in, right? Thumbs in between. Where our or statement is saying that this could be an answer or this could be an answer. So it's giving you two separate options, and our or statements and are thumbs in, ors are thumbs out, okay? Kind of like the oars of a boat. I was talking about that in class. We are not worrying about interval notations. Okay, we will get to that at a later time. But that is how we would write a graph using parentheses and numbers rather than shading. So again, graphing and statements. Notice we have 2 dots versus 1 dot. We are putting those dots where our numbers are, where our main 2 numbers are, our starting points, and statements go in or statements go out. Everything else is the same. So algebraically, it is going to be the same. So right here, we have an and statement, okay? So we know that our highlighting is going to go to the outside. But now we need to actually solve this. So on our first problem right here, we need to bring our 2 to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 to both sides. Add 2 and add 2. Make that a little thinner. So now we're left with k is greater than 7. All right, so that's our first answer. We can even circle that if we wanted to. K is greater than 7. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to solve this too. Plus 2. Plus 2. And we have k is less than 11, 12, 13. Okay, with our compound inequality, realize that we now have 2 answers. And so we have to graph both of these. So I'm going to go ahead and make my number line. This time, the 2 numbers that I have to show are the ones that are listed above. So I need to show where my 7 is. I need to show where my 13 is. All right, for my first part, k is greater than 7. So we have an open circle, and it's greater than 7. All right, and then we go to our second one, and we have k is less than 13. So I can go a different color here. We have an open circle again, and less than 13. Okay, notice again, with and statements, we only care about the overlapping area. Okay, you saw that in your IXL. So we technically can erase this and erase this, and we really just want to show our highlighting in between the 2. So I'm going to make it nice and thick. That is our answer. Okay, and again, you guys don't have to do it just like that, but I just wanted to show that that's what it looks like. All right. So that is an and statement. Number 2, this is also an and statement. It looks a little different though. This one, notice how it had k minus 2 is greater than 5 and k minus 2 is greater than 11. But notice the k minus 2 is the same in both of these. which we're going to have to do over here too. Our first problem is right here. So we're going to have 3 is less than p minus 3. All right, and our second problem, I'll put in red. We're going to keep the p minus 3. The middle part always is involved in both situations. Then we're going to have p minus 3 is less than or equal to 12. All right, so we got our and or statements right here. Now we need to solve. So we'll go back to the first one. All I'm going to do is add 3 to both sides. And we get our answer, which is 6 is less than p. And then I'm going to go to my other side. I have to add 3 to both sides. These cross out. We're left with p is less than or equal to 12, 11, 10, 9. All right, again, we have our 2 answers here. Now we need our number line. We're going to put the 2 numbers that were given. So we're given 6. We're given 9. This is an and statement, so we know that's going to be highlighted towards each other. So I already know the main highlighting is going to be between these 2. So I have 6 is going to be an open circle. Did not mean to do that, but that works too. 6 is going to be an open circle. Okay, and p is going to be greater than it. And now I know I could keep highlighting, but I know I'm going to have to stop because and statements are in between. So I'm actually going to stop there to save myself some time. There you go. And I have a closed circle now because of this line right here. When you see that line, we need to include a closed circle. So we have to fill in a circle. And then p is less than, so I'm going to go this way. And again, I could keep going, but I don't need to because I know my answer is just asking for which numbers will work for this entire statement, and it's only the middle. So there again is my answer for another and statement. All right, we have one more and statement. I'm going to teach you a shortcut this time. This shortcut will work for some of you. For some of you guys, you might not make sense. What we can do is we know we have 2 equations here that we have to separate. But what we can do is we always build these walls when we solve, right? We build these walls. What I can do now is I can actually build a wall here, and I can build a wall here because we need to get k by itself. All right, so we need to move the 11 away from k. So I'm going to subtract 11 to move it away from k. But now, whatever I do to the middle, I have to do to both outsides. So notice now I'm doing it 3 times. Okay. Now this will work for any and statement. If you're already like, whoa, mind blown, all you have to do is go back up here and you can separate it into 2 separate problems and do them twice. Notice how I added 3 in this one and I added 3 in this one because we took this 3 and we brought it to both outsides. Okay, so that's all we're doing. Since we have to subtract 11 in this one, we're doing it in this problem and we're doing it in this problem. So now we have 3 minus 11, and make sure you guys, when we're working with those negatives, you take out your calculator just in case. Okay, so 3 minus 11 is negative 8. Always want to make sure you have negative 8 is greater than, okay, now this 11's gone, so we're left with k in the middle, which we want. We want the variable by itself. The symbols are going to stay the same. Now you have negative 3 minus 11 more. This time you have negative 14. All right, now I need to graph this. And this might be where it's a little confusing, so you might not like this way. Now I'm graphing it. And notice that I'm going to graph this part first. So negative 8 and negative 14 are the 2 numbers that are still going to go on here. Negative 8. Oh, no. See, you got to think, right? So negative 14 should be further to the left because we're talking about negatives now. And then negative 8's over here because 0's somewhere over here, right? So So those need to be bigger negatives, or bigger negatives need to be further to the left. And now we need an open circle. I need an open circle at -8. And that is going towards my K. And then I need a closed circle at -14 because of this line right here. So closed circle. And that is going towards my right. So that is my graph. Any number between those two will make this statement true. All right, there we go. Those are and statements. And statements, so let's highlight in, highlight in, highlight in. Or statements, we're going to practice 2 or statements. I already know we're going to highlight out. Our answer is going to look something like this. I just need to find the numbers so I can do that. So now we have a 2-step problem. So for this problem, we have 2 problems here. I'm going to go ahead and add my 1 first to both sides. (6b) is greater than or equal to 42. And notice, guys, nothing's changed in these problems. It's just more work, right? We're still doing algebra the same. We're still doing inequalities the same. All we do is have 2 in one problem. The math and nothing else has changed at all. Now we're going to divide by 6 because this is 6 times b. So we're going to divide this by 6. All right. These cross out. And I am left with b is greater than or equal to, and then take out your calculator, 42 divided by 6. So you guys know that at the top of your head, 7. And now that is my first part of my problem. Now I need to do the second part. So this time I have to subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract 1. Subtract 1. I'm going to be left with 2b is greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to 10. Now I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. Hopefully that's all review, guys. I know I'm going a little quick, but this should all be review. And I'm left with b is less than or equal to 5. Okay, now I need to graph these two, and now it's an or statement. It's an or statement, so I know I'm going to have my graph. 0, this should be my 5 right here somewhere. Then my 7 somewhere over here. These are both closed circles because they're greater than or equal to. So they're both closed. This one, b needs to be greater than 7. So we're going that way. And this one's b less than 5. It's an or statement, so they should look like oars of a boat. And if I drew my boat in here, right there, there's a boat. Got oars going on the outside. There we go. All right, last one we're going to do before you guys have your homework, and that's going to be the odds only. So I think you only have 4 questions for homework, if I remember. So for this one, we're going to change it to a plus sign right there. Actually, yeah, we are. Okay, so subtract 5. Subtract 5. And you're going to be left m is greater than -1. And then we're going to divide by 7. Divide by 7. And you're going to get m is greater than 35 divided by 7. 5. Now let's graph this. We have -1. We have 5. And I'm not going to try tricking you guys, but I want to let you know. Okay, so m is greater than -1. Okay, so it's an open circle. This one also is an open circle. Okay. M is greater than 5. Wait, m is greater than both of these numbers. So technically, this needs to highlight this way. And notice this one is going to highlight this way. Okay, so now our overlap is right here. Would this technically work for an and statement? Is there overlap? Yes. For an or statement, this would be a no solution. Okay, so I'm not going to try tricking you guys. I'm not going to give you one of these problems, but that's why I changed this to a plus sign to show you the difference, that or statements always have to go outside. So if we even did our math and we know we did it right and it looks like this, that is wrong. Okay, so it needs to have our or statement going out this way and then going out that way. Okay, and we won't give you guys any like that. So here's your notes for the day, guys. Your worksheet's going to be next. Do I have that up right here? I think this is it right here. So you guys are going to do 1 and 1, 3 are both or statements. Then you're going to do 5, which is an and statement, and 7, which is an and statement. So you guys are going to work on this next. You got 4 problems, and we'll go over the other 4 problems in class on Thursday, and we will start the test review. All right, that's all I got for you. Have a good one.